everyone, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Katherine.
And I'm Paul.
And today we're going to be discussing the media framing of the recent shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
We're going to be focusing mostly on the students leading the protests that followed the shooting and the way the media is reacting to them.
So we chose this topic because of the number of and media coverage of both mass shootings and gun violence writ large. Unfortunately, it's relevant to all of us, and it's hard to escape that media coverage.
Yeah, a lot of commenters are comparing the student protests following the Parkland shooting to those following Vietnam.
There's also been a ton of backlash, particularly ad hoc attacks on individual students.
After the Parkland shooting, we saw the media throw around the term crisis actor. Crisis actor is a volunteer, actor, or other person helping to portray a disaster victim during simulations to teach first responders, including EMT, police, and firefighters. Crisis actors are used to allow first responders to practice their skills and help government and emergency services to prepare and train in practical scenarios as part of full-scale disaster exercises. This definition has been altered with the recent increase in mass shooting frequency. Conspiracy theorists have started using the term crisis actor as an individual that receives media attention and uses that focus to push an agenda that another is coaching them about. This started with the Sandy Hook shooting, where similar-looking individuals were said to be the same individual being found at many disasters portraying victims. An early photo depicts a brunette woman being at the Boston bombing, Aurora, and Sandy Hook shootings. This was disproved but continues to this day with the Parkland High shooting. One of the major forerunners for the recent student-led protest for gun safety is David Hogg, who has come under scrutiny for being an actor. With the current explosion of fake news, every aspect of Hogg's life has been used to try to undermine his position. A YouTube video of him being interviewed in California after a boogie board incident is being passed as proof that he is not a student in Florida. The second angle of attack is Hogg's father's former job as an FBI agent. Some have presented this information as fact that someone behind the scene is coaching David. Crisis actor videos and articles impact disasters in a negative way by having viewers question the authenticity of such events. Some videos got over 100,000 shares on Facebook before being deleted. Also, Fox News broadcaster Laura Ingraham faced backlash after she released a tweet publishing California college's rejection of Hogg. Many large companies pulled the support and ads from her show, condemning the attack on the disaster victim.
Another student we want to discuss was Emma Gonzalez, the student who famously gave the speech at the March for Our Lives protest back in March that included several minutes of silence to represent the amount of time it took crews to take 17 lives. In that speech, she is famously seen wearing an army-style jacket with a Cuban flag emblem on the sleeve. While Gonzalez is in fact Cuban, many are conflating her heritage with an endorsement of communism and communist approach to gun laws. Similarly, Gonzalez has been very open about her queerness and experiences as a bisexual woman. Republican Representative Leslie Gibson from Maine referred to Gonzalez as a, quote, skinhead lesbian, unquote, in a tweet. While we are focusing on the more critical sides of the media, I think it's important to also note that it hasn't all been negative. A report from The New Yorker compared her to a modern-day Joan of Arc, which is pretty cool. So we want to leave you all with a few questions. Is it okay to politicize tragedy if those who are affected by it demand it to be so? When do we draw the line at ad hoc attacks at minors who survived something so traumatic rather than choosing to engage in substantive policy questions?
Also, how does this affect the way we frame and media covers disasters in the future? With young generations at the forefront of these protests and big policy questions, how should our government and media outlets?
Thanks for tuning in.